Welcome Families class members. Welcome also to my first video lecture. In your autobiographies, many of you mentioned that you were auditory or visual learners, so that I thought you might appreciate a video at this point in our time together. Though it's difficult to believe, we're actually halfway through with our course. Up to this time, we have focused on the assumptions that some may hold about the students in their classes, or students who come from different backgrounds. We've read chapters and articles that highlight, hopefully, extreme deficit views of students and their families. In addition, we've taken a close look at our own assumptions and our own beliefs and our own language regarding students, their families, their current capabilities, and their potential. In many cases, we found that we agree with the arguments made by the authors we've read. However, we've also noticed that deficit ways of speaking sometimes creep into our language despite our best efforts. We're all becoming more tuned into these patterns of thought, which is good, because it's only through this awareness that we can begin to truly change our thinking. To cap off this portion of our activities, I invite you to revisit a few of the sketches that people created for Module 3. I know that you've seen the responses that people in your group created, but you might not have taken time to visit the projects of people in other groups. In your peers projects, you'll see powerful metaphors representing and for considering the needs of students and their families. Among others, these include a car, a home, the Borg. Likewise, you'll see responses that used a number of tools. Bubble.com, Prezi.com, Word, PowerPoint, and even old-fashioned hand sketches. I suspect that you'll find that revisiting these visual representations will serve as a natural transition from a consideration of students and diversity to possible tenets for family involvement. So let's move our attention now to our true area of interest, the development and implementation of family-school partnerships. You may have noticed that the official title of this course is Parent Involvement for the 21st Century. And we know from our own experiences that many of our students don't live with their parents. They live with grandparents or siblings, or perhaps their primary caregiver is not even someone related by blood. Likewise, you may have noticed that I consistently use the term partnership or collaboration. It seems to me that involvement implies a one-direction relationship where the school sets the terms and makes decisions about activities. Collaboration or partnership seems to be a much more bi-directional process. So, family involvement, parent involvement seems to be sort of an outmoded term. And you'll see the authors at this point using both family-school collaboration and family-school or school-family partnerships. But regardless of what we call it, our readings have reminded us of the importance of valuing our students' backgrounds and their cultures and doing everything possible to involve the family in students' educational processes. Let me refer back to Module 2. To serve as a backdrop for this course, I summarized the introduction of a book by Patrick-Keku, Weisberg, Redding, and Wahlberg. The authors argue that effective models of school-family partnerships are essential for children's and adolescents' academic, social, and emotional growth. In Module 2, I suggested that with current state and federal accountability measures, such as No Child Left Behind, it's becoming increasingly difficult to meet students' emotional and social needs. So I concur. School-family partnerships might be the direction we want to go to try and meet students' needs in all three areas. Patrick-Keku and her colleagues developed a comprehensive model of school-family partnerships, which I included on page 2 of Module 2 notes, but I've also included them again here. That model is essential for understanding one of the readings that we'll be doing today. If you don't have a copy of it in front of you, you may want to pull up a split screen on your computer or even print a hard copy of that model. So you'll see the concentric circles. Patrick and her colleagues argue that this model represents the interconnected and systemic view of a school-family partnership. The model consists of a child with her academic, social, and emotional needs placed at the center of the first circle. The child is most important. The remaining circles extend out from that middle to demonstrate the ways in which all of the systems that impact the child are interrelated. Moving out, the second circle represents the microsystem, or those groups or institutions which are experienced in a single setting. This includes the school, peer relationships, and the family. The third circle is labeled the mesosystem, or middle, and reflects the influences and interrelationships among the institutions at the micro level. It's at this middle level that we can form our partnerships and connect those two separate settings. Next, we see the exosystem, or outer level, which includes broader social groups and institutions that affect the child. An example might be policy decisions made by the school board about class sizing, redistricting, hiring, issues like that. And finally, at the outer edge, we have the macro system, or largest level. And this level includes those broader issues that impact all involved in the educational process. And this could include cultural perspectives, traditions, the economy, etc. During Module 2, we also read an article by Chavkin. And this one discussed strategies for preparing teachers to enhance involvement of families in their own schools and classrooms and in children's education. In our discussions in the forums, we shared ways in which our own college programs did or didn't include an emphasis on multiculturalism, on diversity, and on family involvement. Some of us had a single dedicated class that looked at these issues. Others had readings and activities spread among all their classes, or many of their classes. And we could see the advantages and disadvantages of both approaches. We also generally agreed that coursework just isn't enough. It's crucial to actually get experience working with families and talking with parents before we actually begin teaching. Now, since the members of this class generally aren't planning courses of study or developing classes for pre-service and in-service teachers, parts of the Chavkin article may not have seemed particularly relevant to you. However, pages 16 through 18, the first 3 pages of the article, contain an excellent literature review on key features of various types of family involvement programs. And it also included the names of several organizations that are dedicated to helping schools and communities develop effective partnerships. These resources will be invaluable to you as you begin to locate news stories and journal articles, and as you begin to critique those programs for 2 of our upcoming assignments. In the lecture notes, I've actually included a summary of many of Chavkin's points, though I won't go into those here. You can check the hard copy of that.